listening to Peak One Sports.
Welcome to the Bungalow Fight Show. This is your host Alexis. No Cole this week. He's swamped with work, and I have a bunch of recreational youth sports in the afternoon. I have multiple kids in sports, so it's going to be kind of iffy to meet up later. So I thought I'd do one on my own. And right now with the recreational youth sports like soccer, t-ball, I feel like we got lucky this year that we don't have any crazy parents on the team of my kids. Although it's very too early to tell, but in previous experiences, when you're on the team, when you have parents that believe their kid is all-star material in the major leagues, that can play like a major league player at 3 to 7 years old, it kind of shows in the first couple of practices. That had not been the case, so I mean it's awesome. So the kids can like really experience the sports and see if they like it or not, and make friends and just have fun, because that's what youth sports is about. But I don't know. It could be they could be just holding it in for the first game. They could come in on the first game with face paint, the team names painted on their body, and just go all out crazy. Games are this Saturday, first couple of games, so that's gonna be I'll give an update on that. But yeah, so we are brought to you by Betalytics. Go to betalytics.com, make a profile, enter the code name Peak1, and get 25% off. And see if your team does well on a back-to-back, or if they always drop the first game of the series, or if your starters don't do well after playing three days in a row. All that, the trends are on there. Or if your team's killing it right now and you want to see the projected outcomes for the next couple of games, that'll be on there too. Yeah. And we are also brought to you by League Swipe. If it's fantasy football draft season, for you commissioners out there, like it handles all the clerical work so you can concentrate on your picks. I participated on my first NFL draft with the Peak One Sports guys. All the other people who have podcasts on the network are in it, and I was at a Dodgers versus Braves game. My family, the household, is a Braves fan for baseball, so we went to go support our team, and the draft happened right in the middle of the game. I was hammered. I procrastinated. I didn't look at the app. I didn't see how like it worked, or like looked at the navigation, so I was like, I'll just do it on the fly, let alone being drunk in a stadium where it's loud. Yeah, it was fun, but luckily, it was on, like, they have an auto draft function, so when it was my time, when I was still trying to figure out, the app, it was still picking for me. So we'll see how this season goes. Never done it. Don't really watch football, but we'll see. If I'm not last, it's a good season for me. But yeah, so last week we had UFC Fight Night Paris. We went 4-4 on our picks. Obviously didn't pick Cyril Gane to win. I picked a couple heavy dogs because I saw something in them. None of them hit. But 4-4 is not good. 4-4 is not bad either. Takeaways of the night. We have William Gomi defeated. I don't know what the other guy's name is. But if you guys watch the fight, like he got kicked in the liver, said it was a nut shot. Ref called it off, which was a great call, because there was a fight before that with Reese and Angelusa, where Angelusa was clearly beating the brakes off of Reese McKee in the second round and didn't call it off. Yeah, like that fight should have stopped. And then we would have gotten the KO win. We still got the win on the money line, but yeah. So that ref came back out for the William Gomi fight and made the right call and helped colonize extracurricular bets go through because we picked William Gomi by KO, and that one actually went through. So, other than that, Benoit Saint Denis, TKO finish. He finished the God of War. I mean, it's sad that he's now going to be in the top 15. Hopefully, we might not see him as a dog, which I'm kind of sad about because I really liked taking him as a dog because he'd always show up and win. Sergey Spivak versus Cyril Gane. Man, on paper, it seemed like a very tough matchup for Cyril Gane, but man, was Cyril Gane was that much better, or was Sergey Spivak not totally in the mindset to be competing that night? I don't know. Like I figured like we can't say that Cyril Gane he got his takedown defense really tested. I mean, what is it? Spivak probably did two takedown attempts. Nothing really. He did get him on the ground, but got back up. But even if you're a high caliber wrestler and you're fighting another high caliber fighter in the UFC, the takedowns, you're not just going to be able to get him on the ground and hold him there unless you're like some phenom, unless you're like, even someone, Islam Makhachev, like a couple of his early fights, like the guy stood back up. So I don't know. I felt like if when that takedown and when Gane got up right away, it probably just made Spivak go, fuck, I'm fucked now. And then that was the rest of the fight. Gane was just landing on him. It just, whatever he threw landed. So good fight for Gane. Better fight for Tom Aspinall. Even though Tom Aspinall did beat Sergey Spivak by KO, Tom Aspinall, I think, is going to run through Gane. That's my opinion. Or he could, decisively win by decision. Tom Aspinall's wrestling is a lot better. He probably won't. Well, even if he, Tom Aspinall does get a takedown, Gane gets back up, there's not much. There's not that's not the only path to victory for Tom Aspinall. So I feel like he won't get broken once Gane gets back up like Sergey did. So, but other than that, 4-4 fight night in Paris was a good card. I mean, a lot of finishes, not so much controversies, but hey, and Rose, yeah. That's a controversy in itself. Like, a Rose broke her thumb or pinky, and it wasn't really, it affected her through the whole fight. Honestly, Manon Fiorot is way bigger. I think it probably would have happened the same way, regardless. It just probably would have been a little more back and forth from Rose's end. Yeah, I just think Fiorot's so much bigger. And yeah. So let's see. There are news. I'm going to skip the news because there's a lot to talk about on this next UFC card. UFC 293, Asanya versus Strickland, and it's in Australia. Pay-per-view. You got free fights on ESPN Plus, and then the pay-per-view main card. Honestly, there's a lot of Australian and New Zealand cards, and a lot of mismatches, to be honest. And yeah, so that is going to affect my picks, but let's go through them. First one, Kevin Josette versus Kiefer Crosby. Not really gonna spend too much on this, but my Fate Ireland train has still been going. If you haven't been Ian Gary, if you're not Ian Gary, My Fate Ireland stuff is still going strong, as the Irish fighter on the last card didn't win the fight, and Kiefer Crosby's gonna go up against Kevin Josette, who is an Australian. So, or is he? Is he an Australian? No, it says here Australian. He's from the area. Or he trains in the area, so Let's see. Let's look at. Oh, he was born in France. Whoa. Okay, but he trains at City Kickboxing. So City Kickboxing guy, and that's going to be a lot of the fighters here. They're going to be from City Kickboxing. So Kevin Josette, he should probably win over Kiefer Crosby. We got Shane Young, Australian guy, going up against Gabriel Miranda. I haven't seen much of Gabriel Miranda. 16-6 and 13-7 on paper is probably a really close matchup. But given it's on Australia, I'll take it. I'll give it to Shane Young. We got Blood Diamond versus Charlie Radke. Blood Diamond's a crazy kickboxer, man, and he hasn't been doing too well in his last outing. So, yeah, Charlie Radke is 7-3. The experience goes to Blood Diamond though, who's 3-2. Tough to match up. To see if Radke's a wrestler at all, you know. If Radke's a wrestler, I will take him to win this. Fighting out of Salem, Wisconsin. TKO, submissions, 2 decisions, 2 wins, 2 submissions, 3 wins by KO. Not really much to say. I'll really hold that for the end. Maybe take Blood Diamond based on past experiences. Doesn't look like Radke has much of a wrestler rub on here. We got that was the early prelims. We got Nasrat Hapras against Landon Quiones. Landon Quiones, this guy from Ultimate Fighter. That's what it looks like. Ultimate Fighter. Let's see what this is. Yep, he lost to Jason Knight. So, all right. So my memory is not really that bad off. Nasrat, I'm gonna pick that guy to win. Is a Dana White Contender Series winner. Honestly, if you look at the Contender Series versus Tough, Contender Series guys usually have a better trajectory outside of winning a contract. Landon Quiones, good, but the skill and the experience of Nasrat, I think, will make him win the fight. Next, we got Jamie Mullarkey versus John Makadesi. Man, Jamie Mullarkey. So, another Australian fighter. And if you've listened to us for a while now, you would know that Jamie Mullarkey is what really, he has everything in his possession to win. He does win fights until he gets knocked out. Last time we picked him like to win. He was winning the fight and then he got knocked out. So honestly, this is a card. It could favor him. Honestly, he could win today, or win Saturday. He could win Saturday. Last time he lost, and then the fight before him, before I chose him or had him as a pick to win, he won that fight. So he's on this like win lose progression right now. If you look at that progression, Jamie Mullarkey should probably win. He should, right? It's in Australia. This is in his hometown. He should probably win this fight. If he doesn't, yeah. And honestly, he lost to a Canadian last time. So, and there's a Canadian he's fighting this time. So we'll see. Honestly, I'll pick Jamie Mullarkey. Jack Jenkins versus Chepe Mariscal. We got American versus Australian. Jack Jenkins is awesome. Very gritty fighter. Honestly, and I think this is it is another close matchup, but I think Jack Jenkins still holds like, you know, home field advantage and all that stuff. And plus, like, he comes to fight. Last time we picked him, he was an underdog. He beat the brakes off a dude. So we got Carlos Ulberg versus Daun Jung. Carlos Ulberg, man, come on. Another City Kickboxing guy. This is the New Zealand and Australian show. Carlos Ulberg, probably KO. Tyson Pedro versus Anton Turkaj. Okay, so this fight is interesting because Anton is another Contender Series winner, but he is from Sweden. Is that what it is? Yes, Swedish, and he has a ground game. Um, he won in impressive fashion. He had a rough couple of fights, in the actual UFC. Let me see. This guy. Let's see. Okay, so he lost to Jalton Almeida, which Jalton Almeida is like a monster. Victor Petrino, he lost to decision. So yeah, I mean, it could be a long fight, but if Tyson Pedro doesn't not get him to the ground, but doesn't knock him out, it could be a decision. We can see how Tyson Pedro's ground game is, right? Because Anton has a pretty well ground game there. But Tyson Pedro for the win. Next we got the main card. The first one starts on the main card. Justin Taffa versus Austin Lane. This is a repeat. They fought 4 cards, and Austin Lane, Justin Taffa ended in a no contest because of an eye poke. And honestly, I think Austin Lane is going to win. Justin Taffa's good, but I think Austin Lane is definitely bigger, but Justin Taffa has that Godsmack tattoo on his belly button, which kind of sways me a lot. But I think Austin Lane's going to take it if he doesn't eye poke. The over under on eye pokes is very high in this, so we'll take the over on the eye pokes because Austin Lane gives it to him, because even though he's got a little more experience, he still doesn't keep his hands closed when he's fighting. We got Manel Cape versus Felipe Dos Santos. Flyweights. We got Manel Cape was 18-6, and Felipe Dos Santos was 7-0. Ooh, 7-0 fighter from Brazil. Let's see. 3 submissions, 2 wins, 2 decisions. 3 submissions, 2 knockouts. Manel Cape. I'm just going to stay away from this one because these 2 people, Star Boy. Alright. Definitely not picking you because of that name. So, okay, so this is a replacement fight for Manel Cape because he was supposed to fight Cara France. He had another canceled fight from Davison Figueiredo. Yeah, so late replacement. Let's leave this one off. Manel Cape should win this one. Everything is in his favor. Unless Felipe Dos Santos is some crazy, flyweight with knockout power or crazy submission skills, which he does have 3 submission wins in his record. He's at 3 with 3 to 4 odds for submission. So, but Manel Cape should win. Taidu Tuivasa and Alexander Volkov. They're the co-main event. 15-5, 36-10 for Alexander Volkov. Honestly, this is a shoe-in fight for Tuivasa. Tuivasa lost to Sergey Pavlovich. He lost to Cyril Gane. And I think this is going to be a good one. I think Volkov's on his way out. I mean, he did show up. He's dangerous on the ground. He's got good striking, but he isn't as quick as, say, Tai Tuivasa, which Tai Tuivasa is a brawler. This matchup really is in favor of Tai Tuivasa. So pick Tai Tuivasa to win by KO. He'll KO Volkov. Yeah. And we got the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. There's a lot to really go about this fight because you can honestly just write off Sean Strickland and look at what things that Izzy has to offer in a fight. And if you look at Sean Strickland's last fight versus Alex Pereira, when he got knocked out with that right hook, like Israel Adesanya has 8 different variations or even more just in kicks. And he has more in the hands. So, I mean, this is there on paper. There's no matchup, but if you look at stats, I mean, it is a pretty pretty closer matchup. Israel should win, right? But I'm just saying right now, don't really count Strickland out. He might not win, but he might surprise you guys today. Or not today, but Saturday. He might surprise you because if you look at the path of victory to a fighter like Israel Adesanya, Israel Adesanya is really rangy. He works well in the range. If you look at the way he lost to Alex Pereira, the way or even his previous losses. Let's look at the knockout in the UFC and the knockout where he had him in Glory. He took away, he got right in his face, took away range and landed the shot. In the kickboxing fight, it was in the middle of the ring, and in UFC, he was up against the cage. Sean Strickland is a very pressure style fighter, kind of Nick Diaz-esque, and his fight style with constant pressure and invading space is the path to victory to beat Adesanya, or at least to last, to not get knocked out. Obviously Israel Adesanya has angles and all that stuff, but I don't know if it's going to be completely one-sided. Adesanya is very high for the money line, but I think it should be higher, not at negative 600. It should be like in the 1800s, maybe 2000s, something Ronda Rousey-esque, because he should walk through Strickland. But I have a feeling Strickland's going to put up a fight. I feel like this is going to be something reminiscent of Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum and Sean Strickland are kind of similar in their fighting style. Like, they always keep coming. They keep plodding forward. Good boxing. Sean Strickland has like some type of Philly shell archetype of fighting stance, and it helps them block a lot of shots, helps them cover things. So we'll see. I mean, yeah. If anything, like, regardless if Israel Adesanya wins, if he wins by knockout, and honestly, like, everyone can say Israel Adesanya KO, this and that, but it's really Sean's fight to make it that way. I feel like if Sean stands there and pulls like Jared Cannonier, it'll go to decision. You have to engage to make it a fight. And I think Sean Strickland's that fighter that will engage regardless of what it is. He's very very excited for the fight. We've been hearing reports that he's punched people in Australia leading up to the fight. So hopefully it's a good matchup. But yeah, so let's go with picks. So we're going to make 8 picks. I'm going to introduce a parlay this time. Also along with some prop bets. So first of all, we're going to pick Tai Tuivasa. That's one. We're going to pick Tyson Pedro, Carlos Ulberg. We're going to pick Jack Jenkins. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shane Young, 5. Let's see. Fuck, I don't want to pick Jamie Malarkey. Nasser at 6. I'm going to take... screw it. Let's go with Kevin Josette. 7. Oh, boy. Israel Adesanya. Okay, we'll take him too. It's not going to do much, but yeah, we'll take Israel to win. So that's 8. 1, 2, Israel Adesanya, Tai Tuivasa, Tyson Pedro, Carlos Ulberg, Jack Jenkins, Nasrat Haqparast, Shane Young, and Kevin Josette. Those are the 8 picks. And so, you know what? Let's do Adesanya KO. Let's go with the public on this one. Let's do Tai Tuivasa KO as well. Tyson Pedro KO, Carlos Ulberg KO, and yeah, let's slow down a little bit there. I also want to add, if there's anything, we could probably do the over on Sean Strickland if it's over over 2 rounds. I think Sean Strickland's going to last a little longer. Um, and honestly, if Sean Strickland, my thoughts on him winning a fight or making it at least interesting is not throwing anything in the first couple rounds. Just not throwing anything, just reacting. Get Israel Adesanya to think that he's just like every other fighter that's faced me that's not on my level. He can't do anything. So I'll just sit here and wait, and make him get in his own head, and then come out and start landing some stuff. Will that happen? Maybe not. He might go out guns blazing. The adrenaline rush, him being his first title fight. We'll never know. But and then parlays, we're gonna go Jack Jenkins, Carlos Ulberg, Tyson Pedro, and Tai Tuivasa and Israel Adesanya. Those are the actual confidence picks. And if you want to, we'll do let's see, Carlos Ulberg KO, Tyson Pedro KO, and Tai Tuivasa KO. Those 3 as a parlay would work too. So I'll have everything written down. I'll do another video me explaining my picks. But closing thoughts. This is win, lose, or draw. Israel Adesanya is going to be a star for what he is right now. Nothing's really going to change. But everything's going to change for Sean Strickland, even if he wins or he loses. Everybody knows. Everybody's counting him out. So, like, that's... If he loses, we're like, of course, we knew he was going to lose, right? But he is going to get a bigger fan base. What he's going to say in the press conferences is going to be crazy. And I think he's going to have an amazing show out on Saturday, win, lose, or draw. And so that's going to get him more fans. And he's going to get into another elevated territory just because of this fight. A lot of people are going to know, even if you hate him. I mean, I don't like him, but I like his fighting style. But I think Sean Strickland is going to really get the benefits here, even if he loses. So, yep. So stay tuned for next week. Hopefully Cole's back, and we can get on to our more MMA news and stuff like that. It's kind of a slow, nothing really newsworthy besides Paul Felder entering the USADA testing pool. Yeah, man. Like, so Korean Zombie's last fight and the reaction of him retiring resonated so much with Paul Felder that he entered the USADA pool just so he can have that perfect retirement fight. I mean, dude, like, he was in... The Korean Zombie was in his... In like, Asia. He's a big fan. Like, I'm not a big fan, but like he was a big name from the WEC days. His fight style gave him the nickname the Korean Zombie, where he just took shots and went through and won. I don't think Paul Felder can get that. I think Paul Felder can get knocked out if that's what he wants as a retirement fight. But I hope Paul Felder stays on the commentating game and doesn't go back to fight, because he's a good commentator. He's a good fighter, but I'd rather see him not take any more necessary damage. And yeah, I think that's it. All right, well, I'll do a video of my picks and parlays, and then Cole will throw up some pictures of the picks and all, and leave some messages in the comments. I know we've been getting messages, but like, give us your breakdown of what you think is going to happen. We don't do much. It's like mostly resume picks, like or who we got from memory. And honestly, that is probably the best thing. Like, you can go watch tape and this and that, but like, I'm not going to reference a fight from like 2 promotions ago and saying this guy finished by rear naked choke in the 3rd round, so he's going to fight and he's going to win by rear naked choke in the 3rd round in this fight. You're going to go by the last 2 or 3, last one maybe. So I mean, we can get into what they have, but I'm not pulling some back pocket, technique they have to base a win from a fighter or anything like that. So. But if you guys think there's anything different, and you guys think I'm retarded or not the R word, oh my god, you guys think I'm not as well as picking things. I mean, what is it? We're 23 and or 26, 31 and 13. I mean, that's pretty good. We're not gonna win them all, but we're winning a lot of them. And but if you think you can have a better, like, say you think Anton Turkaj is gonna take out Carlos Ulberg, let me know. If you think Shepard Mariscal is gonna take out Jack Jenkins, dude, like, or you think Jamie Malarkey is actually gonna win for John Makdessi, dude, feel free to comment. Tell me I'm doing a bad job or I don't know what I'm talking about. Anything. It helps. It helps boost the algorithm. So, anyways, see you guys next time. Hopefully we'll be back with Cole. We'll have a recap and more news and stuff. So thank you for listening. See ya.